We're back from vacation with the 10th episode of Rodin Pass, Raising Towns. In this episode we've got 3 goals to successfully establish our new city. First, build houses and basic buildings to boost approval of the first settlers. Then, grow our population by attracting the very first family. And finally, reach 50 inhabitants to consolidate the new city. And joining us in this episode is Josef Serenade. Let's go! In the previous episode we claimed these lands and planned out our new city. Now it's time to found it and lay the foundations of its growth. Meanwhile, life goes on in the bustling south of Rodin Pass. But for now, we'll leave the south on hold for a while and focus on the new settlement. The first step is placing the initial camp, which will load with plenty of resources since the south of Rodin Pass is overflowing with wealth. And unlike the start of the game, here we can afford to build houses right away and avoid most of the penalties for homelessness. That's exactly what we'll do. We'll start with these perimeter houses since they will host vegetable gardens in their large backyard. Food variety and abundance are crucial in the early growth stages. And obviously I couldn't resist a little bit of Road Simulator. My OCD says it's perfect. We'll make plots similar to those in the original city, maybe a bit larger. Fishing will be a very productive food source thanks to this rich resource node, which we will boost with a technology that doubles its capacity. That way we can share fish with the original city and even export the surplus. We'll also take advantage of the rich hunting node, though it's nowhere near as profitable as fishing. Next, we'll set up the wood-related buildings to produce the logs and planks needed for other essential structures. Groundwater isn't very abundant on this plateau, so there aren't many spots for wells. I suspect this is a good one, where they will also complement future gardens already taking shape in my mind. The trading post isn't needed yet, but I will place it where I've planned so other essential buildings can go in their spots and I won't have to redo the layout later. We'll prioritize the new hitching post, since having a second ox is key to speeding up construction. Only oxen can transport logs, and without logs, building doesn't progress, even if workers are available. We buy the second ox, and then back to prioritizing houses. Our first gardens are being acquired. We'll set up a provisional marketplace so goods can be distributed. And with this fifth house, the homelessness penalty is gone and the city has leveled up. Time to spend the corresponding development point. In this city, we'll focus on producing meat, fish and apples, so we'll unlock related technologies. We'll start with trapping to generate passive meat income. The fishing upgrade doesn't make sense yet since we don't have enough families to use all the fishing spots. Trapping is more suitable. It gives us passive meat without assigning more families, which is exactly what we're short of now. We build some more hitching posts. And we've got almost everything essential, just missing a storehouse and granary to protect and manage our resources properly. Like in the south, I'll plan out where the future storage buildings will go to avoid issues later. It takes a bit more effort now, but construction flows much smoother down the road when there's at least some planning. Let's strengthen fishing. It will be the main good for trading with the other city and later also for export. To avoid using families from the new city, we'll handle trade from the pack stations of the initial city. That way, they will do all the work while the new families in the new city focus on essentials. Since the initial city has surplus vegetables, we'll send them to the new one in exchange for fish. That way, the new city will enjoy more food variety, which improves satisfaction and speeds up family attraction. Besides veggies, we'll also trade fish for coal, so the new city gets a great fuel without needing families to chop firewood. Here I'm planning the warehouse layout. And the last good we need for growth and satisfaction is leather, which this city will produce by processing hunting hides. For that we'll build a tannery. But we're missing planks, so we'll prioritize the saw pit. Here I'm limiting the wood cutting area since I only want those scattered trees in the urban zone harvested. I'll assign a worker to the granary to stock the marketplace with food and avoid penalties. Soon after, I'll move that worker to the storehouse to stock it with coal and hides. Later, when we have more families, both will be staffed permanently, but for now we need to rotate them to keep things running well enough. And of course, the Baron wants to reclaim the lands we took, so we'll have to face him. We restore the retinue to full strength and summon the army. Since I'm not sure which side he will attack from, I'll position the troops in a central spot. He might even attack from both sides. We answer the claim and, indeed, he attacks from both flanks, so we'll split our forces. Three units to the south, 4 to the north, where the enemy is stronger. In the south, combat is about to start, and our retinue is casually strolling in. Our crossbowmen harass the enemy while spearmen hold the line, but the enemy tries to slip past, forcing us to charge. And our retinue is still taking their sweet time, arriving after the fight is already over. Meanwhile, in the north, the battle hasn't begun yet. I love how our retinue celebrates victory without even fighting. Not to take away from their contribution, but it reminds me of a certain country that always showed up late to world wars and then wanted all the credit. Ring a bell? And to my surprise, that victory ends the battle entirely. The Northern Army retreats. My plan was to have crossbowmen harass them during their retreat, just in case they reconsider. But technically the battle's over and the game won't let me attack them, so conflict finished for now. The Baron always comes back. And with that little skirmish out of the way, most of the essential buildings are already complete. Just one left, the church. Once built and staffed, it will provide another satisfaction boost. Remember, satisfaction needs to stay above 50% to attract new families, and ideally over 75% to speed things up. Let's decide where to place it, but first we need the timber and planks, so time to get the saw pit going. Oh, and the tannery, which we had pending. A few minutes later, we've got the resources for the church. And this location is just begging for it. You know how much I love churches on cliffs. I've always thought burning heretics was very unecological, much better to toss them off a cliff. Well, actually better to let them live, but hey, those were the customs of the time. The good old days weren't always that good. As you see, I'm using the internal paths of the church to connect it with the road network, so it fits better in the location. Perfect. You will notice I keep moving workers around, and that's necessary. We only have 5 families, but way more jobs, so they need to be rotated to gather resources, manage them, and keep the approval bonuses going. And now it's the bandits' turn. Clearly, this needs some balancing, because it's a bit absurd for such a tiny group to think about attacking a fortified town with an army 3 times their size, a full-on kamikaze move. So I'll just summon part of the troops, place them, and forget about it. We will win without even looking. We free up a fishing worker to speed up church construction. And the fight's already over. 0 losses, enemy wiped out. We'll stop trading veggies for fish since the new city has enough vegetables for now and we don't want them running out of fish with winter coming and fishing stopping. Same with coal, they've got enough for a good season. Here they're squeezing in the last catch before the water freezes. With the fishing upgrade, not only do ponds double their output, but you can also cut holes in the ice and keep fishing in winter. We'll invest in that later. And once the church is finished, we'll have everything needed for population growth. Now yes, all basic buildings are in place. Goal achieved. We assigned the family to the church for the extra approval boost, and now we just need to keep that approval above 50% so the first new family arrives. With 3 food types, height, enough fuel and the church bonus, that will be enough. We'll need a few more logs to expand some houses, so there's room for incoming families. Without enough housing, they won't come even if approval is high. We will expand this one. And now there's space for the next family lucky enough to move into the prosperous Rodin Pass. We'll momentarily reinforce fishing since reserves are running low. We see that markets are stocking all houses perfectly, just what we need to keep approval up. Remember when this city was just for houses and a church? The new one will be just as good or even better. Approval is looking great. I consider lowering taxes even further, but they're already pretty low. Can you imagine income tax at 4%? That wouldn't work in a modern state, but here in Rodin Pass, yes. It's a paradise, a fiscal and earthly paradise. And there we go, approval above 50%. Now it's just a matter of time until the first family arrives. Here are our first gardens starting production. And there's our lucky first family. Goal achieved. Now for the last objective, consolidating the city with its first 50 inhabitants. New houses are going up. A few more gardens. We restart fish for coal trade. And now it's time to move the lumber industry into this forest here. For aesthetic reasons, I don't want to clear the forest near the city. We'll skip the woodcutter's lodge, since this city will rely on charcoal from the other one, traded for fish. Now it's time to urbanize more plots. We'll start with these 4 double houses here. We'll add some chicken coops to diversify food even more. Still, eggs are only a complement. The most productive food sources are veggies, apples and, if you got fertile land, wheat. And here, in this privileged region, fishing is also extremely productive, especially once we unlock the tech. In fact, fishing will be so abundant that several huts will be needed to fully exploit it. Here I struggled with the pathing, but I saw a white highlight and knew it would fit. There it is. At this stage, we need to generate some regional wealth to keep developing the city, so time to start exporting. As I said, gardens are very productive, and we've got surplus to sell. We'll also sell some planks for quick income. More houses to keep the growth going. We'll upgrade hitching posts into stables, since we'll need more oxen and horses. And To keep better track of our livestock population, it's worth building a livestock trading post. That crossroads was begging for it. It fits perfectly, and those 3 triangles left behind are just calling for some gardens. We'll call it the Rodin Thong. And now that income is flowing, we can keep upgrading backyards. We'll upgrade the warehouse and granary. More houses for the city, and we're about to hit 50 inhabitants. And there it is, inhabitant number 50, goal achieved. And now that we've successfully founded the new city, what's next? Well, in the next episodes, we will make it grow spectacularly, multiplying its population and consolidating its economic power. So, what did you think of the foundation of the new settlement? If you've got any ideas or suggestions, I would love to read them in the comments. See you in the next episode. Manor? Ridiculous? Well, in the next episodes, what we will do? I don't know what I will do with my life. I would really love to read them in the comments.